Club football is back after a whole 1 month away. Welcome to Football Analysis, and I'm sure you're as excited as I am to have your favorite football clubs back in action. We had Carabao action go down yesterday. A lot of teams, the teams in the round of 16 did their thing, and we had those who have qualified for the quarterfinals and those who have found their way back home. We also have a marquee fixture today. It might not be a Premier League fixture, but it is a quintessential Premier League fixture. Liverpool taking on Manchester City, or City actually taking on Liverpool. All that and more we're going to be talking about on this edition of Football Analysis right here on CTV. My name is Omola Bakaraji. You can be a part of the conversation. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear your take, your reaction, and how happy you actually are having your club back in action this week. I mean, it's back to back from EFL Cup to the Premier League. Yeah, it's a lot. Football heaven. We are going to be in. CTV Live is the handle on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're also live on YouTube, by the way. And CTV Live 1 is the handle on Instagram and TikTok. We are also live on TikTok. So that said, I'm going to be going on a very short break. When I return, you get to see who it is that is in the studio with me. And we start the show proper. Stick around, I'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still Football Analysis on CTV. Joining me on in the studio today, I've got the very one and only, the man who has a couple of nicknames, but he's stuck with one. Right now, I'll keep talking about it because this same month, you've reminded me. Okay.
It's not
I'm going to be calm. I'm going to keep on smiling.
It's Latko Dalic now.
I have the usual suspect. I've got with me Ibrahim Ayobiojo, aka Izzy Baba.
Number one. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
You have to have the number one.
Number one. No other Izzy Baba in this world, man. Any other Izzy Baba is probably the one I have on social media. Number one.
That's it. How are you? How have you been? How are you feeling seeing club football return?
Fascinated. I'm more than elated actually. It's an amazing feeling that finally enough of the countries whatnot and you're back to club football every week. Different kind of games to watch out for, to look out for. Plenty. Although the World Cup was an amazing showpiece, it was one of the best World Cup ever produced by the organizing committee, FIFA, I mean. But I see my team play this night. Thank God. We're going to be back.
Okay.
We are not losing that. We are not losing that.
I didn't say anything.
I know, but we know what you said. We know what you said.
All right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. We had quite the action yesterday in the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup right there, and very interesting results, very interesting scorelines, very interesting matchups as well. We had some that were the usual Premier League team versus the Premier League team, and we had some
surprises, huh?
Yeah, surprises in the sense that we say it all the time that there are no minnows in football, but we had some very interesting upsets. I mean, because in fairness, let us say as it is, some teams are bigger than
there are minors in football. So big. Malta will beat Brazil.
They can try.
Malta will beat Nigeria. I almost said ordinary Nigeria. Nigeria said will beat Malta. No talk of Malta, Brazil.
They can try.
Oh, no problem. Quara United against Real Madrid.
They can try. If you believe it, you can achieve it.
No lies.
Aspire to Maguire.
Until you are
beaten Alcantara.
Until you are beating black and blue.
Okay, football no violence, by the way. Okay, let's start with the first game. We had Wolves taking on Gillingham, and it was quite the outing for the Wolverhampton Wanderers side right there. And your thoughts on the game? Okay, Wolves did win. It was a comfortable victory, or so it seemed on paper. It
was actually comfortable though, because they were all over now.
Okay, true, but Wolves did not make a headway in that game until the 77th minute.
That just showed the resilience of the Gillingham boys. They didn't want to just consider and just open the floodgates for the Wolves boys to just stamp on them and just turn them to mincemeat. So I understand the fact that it's actually the what's it called? This is the round of 16. The next is the quarterfinals. You don't expect they are saying the quarterfinals right there in front of them, and they don't have the firepower up top to go and compete with what those guys have. What they can do is the back. You understand? Shove it up at the back. Don't let them trample on you. And they did as much as they could. They did absolutely fantastic, if you ask me. Um, they were quite a little bit unlucky with the penalty. It was a legit penalty, but they were a bit unlucky with the penalty. And after the penalty, it was really bad from there. And they considered their second goal like 90 something minutes. So they did hold their home ball. You know, quality tells, and the best team of the night won. Wolves.
Exactly the best team of the night. One, we had Raul Jimenez, the man who opened the scoring from the penalty spot. We also
Yeah,
had Ryan Ait Nuri as well,
yeah,
doubling the Wolves' lead, and 2 goals to nil. It ended right there for them. And that said, Wolves are through to the quarterfinals
yeah.
of
Straight
the
up.
EFL Cup. And we're going to be waiting out to see the draws. I mean, after the games are
This
concluding
night.
tonight, yeah,
Yeah.
waiting to see who it is Wolves would be facing and all that stuff. But it's very interesting that Wolves seem okay. Fine, we've had a month break away from football, away from club football.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that Wolves seem to have maybe put the woes of the Premier League behind them. Are we expecting
Mm-hmm.
to see what kind of Wolves side are we expecting to see? We have Premier League games returning on the 26th, Boxing Day.
Yeah, Boxing Day.
What are we? What do you think we should be expecting from Wolves and the fact that there's a new manager in town? This is his time, even though it's going to be half of the season. But what do you
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
think they would be able to do? Do you think uh, survival in the Premier League is possible for them?
it actually is possible. It is very possible in the Premier League, league of opportunities and all. Um, they are rock bottom, but the their spirit is not rock bottom. Now you should know about the Wolves side. Since the days of Espirito Santos, before handling the power to Bruno Lage onto um, Lopetegui, who is in there right now. Bruno Lage, he did his best, but his best was not enough. Uh, I There are woes in the Premier League um, could change due to the break let me say just break in transmission. The 1 month break could like help them a whole lot, and we saw some of it yesterday. They were very very impressive on the night. Some will argue that they are facing Guinea. They are not same quality, but still those guys play football as well. It's 11 against 11, and on what I saw and how well they performed, they are looking to improve on their miserable form in the Premier League this season. And regarding the run of games they have next, I it looks tedious, but under new management, it could be a whole lot of difference. And to even buttress what has happened, um, Lopetegui had a whole month with these guys with the luck of the World Cup happening at the same time. He had the whole month to at least get 50 or 60% of his message across to them, and I'm pretty sure he has. So let's just see how well they are going to do from this resumption now, because where they are is not something nice at all.
Oh, let's see if they're going to be returned to turn their luck around. Well, they have turned their luck around in the EFL Cup. They're through to the quarterfinals. We get to
Yeah,
see which is they're going to be facing later on tonight after the games of the round of 16 would be completed. Then up next we have Southampton taking on Lincoln City. Well, by saying up next, that game has already happened. It happened last night.
yeah,
2 goals to 1. It ended in favor of Southampton. Che Adams, the man who got a brace for them, and we had a very interesting own goal from Gavin Bazunu, the goalkeeper for Southampton. But quite the game it was.
yeah,
It was quite interesting. I mean, I kept on talking about that own goal. Like, should they have
yeah,
stood
or not.
upon replays? So I was like, okay, yeah, okay. It wasn't so much as an impediment. It was a
Mm-hmm.
collision, yes, but
Yeah,
and it should still stand and all that stuff. I'm impressed by you with Southampton. We've seen them
struggle
struggle in the world in the
Premier
Premier
League.
League.
Yeah.
But here they seem to maybe have it all in hand right now. We don't know the quality of opposition they're going to be facing up next, but for the game you actually did see from them, how impressed were you?
Oh, they did well. They compared to what they have been doing all this season, like they did a whole lot better. Uh, uh, they didn't really start their strongest side, but most of them were there. And uh, If not for the keeper goalkeeping error, it might have been a clean sheet and a very sounding win. But still, the Lincoln guys didn't allow them to play their game and stood tall enough. But kudos to Che Adams. He showed up for them. They had more than a couple of chances to take the game away from Lincoln City, but well, they did well to be able to navigate the problems Lincoln gave them, and yeah, a good win for them. But how that would affect their Premier League now is something I can't really say. The one more breakthrough it will help them, or might just dampen what they have had to
They started to do,
they
I
started
guess.
to do right now. And uh, let's just see how it goes. But they do not look too impressive for me to be able to avoid relegation. It might be a far fetched talk right now, but what I'm seeing from Southampton, I'm not really seeing um um like the drive to want to avoid it. You understand? But in due time, we'd know how far they will go from it.
All right, and we have the new manager. A lot of these
Yeah,
clubs have had a change in management. Nathan Jones is fairly new in charge of Southampton, even
yeah,
though he's had a month
yeah,
to settle in.
yeah.
But remember, this 1 month there's no been competition and all
Yeah, no
that.
competition.
One can say it's a good thing, or it also might be detrimental to the side. But let's see how they do fare. Southampton will be facing Brighton come Boxing Day,
Yeah,
and that promises to be a showdown, and that's going to be in the Premier League. But hey, they are through to the quarterfinals of the EFL Cup. Let's see what it is they will be doing in the next round. We cannot wait to see what it is they're going to give to us and all that. We had a Premier League outing. Newcastle taking on Bournemouth, and it was quite interesting seeing Eddie Howe face off with his former side, and he took no prisoners. 1 goal to 0, it ended in favor of Newcastle. It was an unfortunate own goal from
yeah,
Adam Smith. But the game did give us something,
yeah.
I was looking forward to seeing how, Newcastle would face off with Bournemouth. Major reason is this. Newcastle in the Premier League, they've been a different level of
Entirely.
beast mode. Like the kind of
Yeah,
energy is so incredible.
very, very
So I was
incredible.
like, would that 1 month break, would it break them, or would
Mm-hmm.
it make us see something different from them, or they're just going to continue from where they've stopped?
Yeah.
From the game you saw yesterday, did it look like they
They
just
they did con-
continue?
they continued. They honestly did continue. With a little bit of stop gap in their play, absolutely expected, but they exhibited the kind of form that we knew this season in the Premier League that they have been showing to us, and they continued in it. Um, don't forget they are still without Alexander Isak, but it's not even looking obvious that someone is missing, and
Callum Wilson seemed to be,
perfect
Joelinton as well.
Joelinton, every one of them. Amiron, Amiron, what the kind of form he was in prior to the break and all. I just hope to God he'll be able to continue the Paraguayan. Uh, yeah, Eddie Howe facing Bournemouth. I think he just took that into consideration and begged his boy not to beat them anyhow because it's
I saw what you did.
it, it's a cup game. Now they're in the quarterfinals
Yeah,
of the
for
League Cup, and they're still in the FA Cup. Every cup is even yet to start. We know they're still in the FA Cup. They are right now in the top of the Premier League. They are they are on the best pedestal they can ever think of, and Eddie Howe's stock has just continued to rise, and I'm very very happy for the I'm very very happy for the man. If and how he's going to be able to use this on the long run for the end of till the end of the season. I just want to see, honestly speaking, I want to see where Newcastle is going to go by the end of the season. Where they're going to get? Is it the top four, the Europa League, the Conference League, or try and get a trophy, or just stay in the Champions League spots? Whichever it is a win-win for them this season. Honestly speaking, with what they have been able to achieve right now, it is a win for them. It's a win for Eddie Howe. It's a win for the whole Newcastle new board, and yeah, they are doing fantastic. Honestly speaking.
Newcastle right there, quite doing quite well. Talking about the injury absences, talking
Mm-hmm.
about the big man signing in
Isaac.
Alexander Isak being is still out on injury, but a good news for Eddie and his boys. We did see Alexander St. Maximan return into action, even though I mean we did see him bits and pieces.
Pieces, yeah.
And it's going to be very interesting seeing the return of these boys.
Hmm.
Without them, they've been balling.
Now with them,
I can only imagine where it is they're going to be. They're going to be,
yeah,
and we get to see Newcastle in the quarterfinal. I'm very sure a lot of teams that will be qualifying or that would
yeah,
qualify would love to avoid Newcastle
Newcastle,
as best as possible. But
yeah. But the return of those boys could actually would help them or dampen them because that might want to spoil the team chemistry by saying, it's Isak is back. There's no way I'm benching Isak. Callum, go sit. But Callum is on red off form right now. Not only getting goals, but the chemistry with the rest of the teammates. And same thing can be said about say Maximin. Is you probably want to go bench Joe Willock or uh, there's no way he wants to bench anything. There's no way he wants to bench anything. Anything is their main man. So honestly speaking, I just it feels good for Newcastle. Newcastle fans worldwide will be feeling very good. They'll be feeling very great. They are kind of having the same feeling the Manchester City people were having when Sheikh Mansour took over, and now theirs is even looking like straight up
big,
fast.
big money spender.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Boatman too is in that team. Come
it's
on.
very interesting how much quality the Newcastle side
And we don't
do
really
boast of.
know its quality until when they play. But I do know Sven Botman is quality, big time quality player. Same Maximin, Alexander Isak.
Guimaraes as well.
Hey
And so
Bruno, I
just
keep forgetting Bruno
it's
Guimaraes.
just very exciting what they have
Yeah.
right now. And quarterfinals beckons
Kieran Trippier is
for
there too.
yeah. And we did same in action yesterday.
Yeah.
Taking on Newcastle. Let's see what it is they're going to be doing in the quarterfinals of the EFL Cup. Of course, we got to see them Boxing Day as well. Leicester City taking on Newcastle. They'll be going away to the Foxes. Let's see what's going to be happening in that one. But hey, we're still talking about the EFL Cup. Away from that one, let's take a look at another game that also did go down. Very interesting one. Smooth victory, or so it seemed, for Brendan Rodgers and his side. MK Dons nil, Leicester City nil. My bad. Take it again. MK Dons nil, Leicester City 3. I was about to just stick with there. The goals are now Demi, Yuri Tillemans, Ayoze Perez, and Jimmy Vardy. All three goals, very interesting, very sumptuous, beautiful football. We saw the breaks, we saw everything that they've done. And it's very interesting for me that we saw Leicester City at the start of the season, and
Yeah.
we all had to ask,
What's
what
wrong?
on earth are we watching?
Yeah.
We are still seeing the usual suspects, even though, of course, there are a couple of absences,
Yeah.
talking about signings, movings,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But it's very interesting the fact that it seems like Leicester have gotten their mojo back. Or is it a fluke?
It's not a fluke. It's not like it seems. They actually got the middle back prior before the World Cup kick started. They were on a like 4 game streak or 5 of being unbeaten. They didn't concede for a couple of games as well.
Until they face City.
Until they face City, and they continued against. And that game against City, they were absolutely fantastic. If you remember that Kevin De Bruyne's goal now, no keeper is
no
saving that.
that.
So yeah, they did absolutely well for me, and they are still doing well right now. Brendan is back to being Brendan. No unnecessary what's it called Ulabalu regarding his team and how they have been playing, his goalkeeping problems, the defensive problems, the front, the crisis. Although they were not having crisis up top, they were getting goals easy.
You're just going to keep it tight at the back.
At the back, and it seems different right now. And sorry, I just want to ask, how old is Jamie Vardy? That man plays, he plays like he's 21. Honestly, did you see his goal?
Quintessential Pocho finish.
Perhaps before the goal, the first goal by
Tillemans
was his goal, was absolutely Jamie Vardy's goal, and it looks very fantastic for them. Jamie Vardy is playing like this, and is actually not your main striker. Your main striker is Pat Sindaka. That's how blessed to an extent Brendan Rodgers is. You have your Tillemans up there. You have James Maddison who didn't even play there yesterday. He's there. Avi Barnes is there. We have our own boy Kelechi now. Although I'm not happy with Kelechi, neither am I happy with Wilfred Ndidi. They have not been up to standard. The standard we know them for this, we have known them. We have been regular with them. I've not seen any of it from them this season, and I hope that changes. I honestly hope that changes before the turn of the year. Nepal's Mendy too is there. See, Brendan Rodgers is blessed with these boys, and he knows how to relay what he wants. And we saw it yesterday. We've been seeing it prior to the end of the first half of the season. If we want to go by this, Leicester might actually end up seeing Leicester probably in the Conference League, not in the Europa League spot, because we still have like, let me see how many games to go, 23 games to go. So it's kind of a whole lot. And yeah, Leicester are back. If you ask me, Leicester are back. No more problems for Brendan Rodgers. No, no more crisis.
Okay, let's crisis averted. Isbaba says, and Leicester City, they did cruise to victory yesterday, taking on MK Dons. It was very smooth, it was very
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. They held their own and then some. All right, away from that, we have Charlton taking on Brighton. Some rhymes going on there, guys. And it was very interesting, very exciting. We had full time, no goals, and then we went into penalties and very interesting penalties. It
Yeah.
was ended 4 goals in favor of Charlton and 3 to Brighton. And this is part of where people say football is cruel because Brighton did boss that game or
Yeah,
what?
deserved like at least 3 to 4 goals in
Also,
that game. Did you see that
really,
solo match run?
I did. It was so beautiful.
They were very unlucky not to get a goal. As you said, football is cruel. They were very unlucky. They were the better side across the 90 minutes. Absolutely outplayed Charlton. And well, the god of football wasn't with them. People with them, there's no god of football, but god of football is luck, and luck wasn't on their side. Uh, well, that's how football is. This shouldn't really affect them. We know Brighton are top 10 in the Premier League as we speak. They play good football. Even under new manager Roberto De Zerbi, they have not relented their ways in playing. They have actually improved on it. They know how to get you out from your confines of but, and it is a big but, is how well they are going to continue with him. Because sometimes coaches come in, they have 5 to 10 good games, and then problems start happening. But I hope it is not Deserby's problems. It doesn't have to occur with him. I like his personality, honestly speaking, and the way he's playing is like a Graham Potter 2.0 with this 2.0, more like with these guys. They are playing more like the young guy is there. The drive is actually excellent. Saw Leandro Trossard yesterday. He was not even playing as if he had a break and even went to the World Cup and every one of them were on fire. They knew what they want, but lucky them. More like unlucky them, lucky Charlton, and kudos to the Charlton goalkeeper. Come on,
I mean,
he was it was the stumbling block against Brighton getting to the
made a
quarterfinals.
couple of very good saves during regular
During
time,
regular time,
and then we had the
penalty
penalties.
save. This guy added like 3 saves in the penalty. Come on, it's not you're not coming Keller. It's only Keller that does that, but it is it is what it is. Neymar, Maynard, as you said, was fantastic. Charlton were absolutely rugged. Let me give them their credits too. They were absolutely rugged in their defense. Although they were caught out a couple of times, the luck they had was their saving grace. But still, kudos to them, and I hope to God my team progresses later today, so we'll be able to get Charlton.
Wishes wells. Okay, back to the show. Charlton, they have progressed, and we get to see them in the quarterfinals. We saw the way they celebrated that win
Yeah,
last night. It was so emotional. We
yeah,
had the stadium rocking, the fans so excited and so exhilarated because I mean it says a lot. You're taking on a Premier League side, and you're able to pull your own and hold your own, and that they did. Right, but away from that, we had Blackburn Rovers 1, Nottingham Forest 4. Very interesting because it was quite the game because of how impressive Forest were. They were impeccable to say the very least. They did concede, yes, but
yeah. They did.
it was not for lack of trying on Dean Henderson's side. It wasn't for uh, him not doing what he's supposed to do. We saw the Blackburn guys as well. They came good. It was quite the goal they did score,
Exactly.
so
Beautiful
there's
goal.
no saving that one.
Nope.
But your thoughts on the fact that Nottingham Forest have had quite the start of the season with so many additions, emphasis on so and many coming into the side, and apparently many more still coming in,
Yeah.
or so it seemed by
One
the club
actually
owner.
joined
So
a few weeks back.
it's so interesting their journey in the Premier League. They would like to forget the way they started and perhaps
Exactly.
cement on that and try and get something. But here they are in the League Cup, getting a win when it matters, and not just getting a win, just how comfortable it was for them.
Very comfortable. Very comfortable. They burnt Blackburn. absolutely pumped them. They could have got some way more than 4 goals actually. Just Lingard was impressive to say the least. Brennan Johnson, ah, come on, that boy is a baller and a half. You saw what Taiwan Rooney did. Did you see his finish? That one is perfect finish. Could have had more than one goal.
Sweet something.
Sweet something. They are. So let me put it like this: when they were busy signing players left and right, we were here talking about it not being right. It is not possible. It doesn't make any sense. The players that got you to the Premier League, although most of them were on loan, get them back, get them permanent. What's it called? Give them permanent contracts. But that didn't happen. 23 plus players. They are still trying to add more. Added the one a few weeks back ago from Gremio, and their owner is still like, no, we are not contented. We know how long it took us to get to the Premier League. We don't want to go back. So they still want more additions. And what he did that I actually really um liked was the fact that he extended Steve Cooper's
Contract.
contract even when they were busy losing back to back. Everybody was like, hey, they will soon sack this man. And the news that was like, when I saw breaking news, Steve Cooper didn't sack him. And on reading, it was like, I was been given a contract extension, the belief, and I was just like, what is this man doing? Then I realized he knows what he's doing. He knows the fact that the replacement of those players, like the bulk buy, let me use, the bulk buying of those players was the reason they were literally everywhere and nowhere on the pitch at the same time. So giving time, giving a few weeks to gel together has paid off a whole lot. Has paid off. Prior to the break, they moved from 20 to 8 to the 18th position, and they're just a couple of points away from safety. And what they did yesterday is just tantamount to the fact that what Steve Cooper is teaching them is already entering, and how well they are going to exhibit it on the pitch of play is what is left. And we saw a little bit of that. You might say they played against Blackburn, but Blackburn said okay, but still we know the fact that Blackburn is not in the Premier League teams um,
Level.
level right now, but
They're also pulling their own weight.
yeah, and Nottingham did absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna say it again. Lingard was perfectly good. Brennan Johnson is that guy is a peach. Is a peach of a player. There's Morgan Gibbs White. There's Sergio Riera. Literally every one of them are turning up to the party, and it makes so much sense. So yeah, Nottingham Forest. They're not going to relegate. I'm seeing that from them. They should not relegate. The belief, the drive, and the trust Miranikis have in them is beautiful.
Okay, let's see how did you fare in the next round of the games, talking about the quarterfinals right there. Away from that now, let's take a look at the next fixture, which was very exciting, very interesting from a Manchester United point of view. For Burnley, they just might be kicking themselves in the fact that they would have thought they could have gotten something, but Christian Eriksen brilliance as well as Marcus Rashford was the difference on the night. 2 goals to 0. It ended in favor of Manchester United. We had quite the game, seeing Burnley go toe to toe against Manchester United. They did give them a run for their money.
Yeah, I did.
It did not show goal wise, but it wasn't for lack of quality from the Burnley side. Your thoughts on the fact that we're seeing Eric Ten Hag settling quite comfortably, is settling in quite well at Manchester United, and it was quite the game for them. How impressed were you seeing the fact that the bulk of the Manchester United guys were actually out on international duty for their various countries, and yet here they are less than how many days after the conclusion of the World Cup? Were you impressed, or was there something that you figured should have changed?
Nothing should have changed with them. He fired out with the best boys he could on the night, and they did not disappoint. Prior to the game, when I saw Bruno Fernandes among the starting line, no, like the starting line, like the member, I was like, this guy, you just go back. Then he started, and I was like, okay, let's see how it's going to turn out, and they did well. Is it from the goalkeeping department, Martin Dubravka, to their back line? I was overly impressed with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I've not seen him in a whole long time. I thought he had problems with Saka, but well, he's back. So don't mind me. Don't mind me. Wan-Bissaka was impressive. Scott McTominay was absolutely impressive. Now their front line was the most impressive. They were very, very very compact. They knew what they wanted to do. Right, is it from Rashford to Martial to um, Christian Eriksen, and the man destroying the lines in Bruno Fernandes. They were absolutely fantastic, but that was not the real what Burnley were doing. Burnley under Vincent Company has been. Let me give them the flowers. They are number one in the championship table. They don't play the route one football anymore. We know Sean Dyche ball is to play. Boom, boom, pew, is up. From Tarkowski, play a long ball. Look for Ashley Barnes to be looking for a way to get it down. Now that's not anymore. Or look for Chris Wood, not anymore. They were playing from the back, and it was very impressive. The whole first half, it was all about Burnley to an extent, but trust Ten Hag now. Got wind of what that is the difference between an amateur coach and a coach that knows his onions. No bad mouthing Vincent Company. He's doing great, but the level at which Ten Hag is right now is yet to get to that place, and Ten Hag showed him the superiority he has over him over in the game, and it was very nice. Tactically, it was very nice. Two of them, they gave us a very nice game, and I absolutely enjoyed it. First goal by Christian Eriksen, beautiful. Fernandes over the top. Wan-Bissaka, what a cross, and great finish by Christian Eriksen. What about the second goal? Come on. Marcos. Marcos. See, sometimes I really don't like to say it, but funny enough, I'm not going to be saying it on TV. Marcus Rashford, I wish he was in Liverpool. Sometimes I wish he was in Liverpool, because that boy, he knows how to get on your nerves when it comes to football. Like, the look is always giving you like, I cannot do anything. But let the ball get to his feet. The way you are deleted. You are deleted. Move. See. Marcus Rashford should please not leave Man U, because if he leaves Man U, I do not see the connection in any other team. The way he's having it at Man U, he should please just stay at Man U. That guy looks to me already like a Man U legend, in all honesty. Look at the thing he's been doing for the kids. That's not even football wise. This man he has an MBE, and he's not even 25. Or is he 25? He's 25 already. Yeah. Is his goal scoring exploits? He plays fantastically well. He can change a game all on his own. All he just needs is a manager that believes in him, that knows how to drive the player to get to their best potential, and who else for Eric Ten Hag to help him with that. So I believe Manchester United are going to come great. They're going to be doing great again. Probably not be this season, but very soon
there's a rebuild going
very
on,
bright for them.
And it's very interesting with talking about the quality of the side. And something that has stuck out for me so far all season long for Manchester United is the fact that Eric Ten Hag seems not scared or afraid to make the big decisions.
Exactly.
If you're not coming good, you're going to be sitting out this one, and someone who is hungrier would come on and then show you how it's done. And we've seen that healthy rivalry with the side, everybody coming, wanting to come good, because you realize and acknowledge the fact that the particular manager you're with, he demands something, and if you're not giving us that,
you're out. Look at Wan-Bissaka now. Wan-Bissaka last season was number one choice for the previous
Ole Gunnar
Solskjaer. Number one choice, even when the coach that was not a coach was there, he was still the number one choice, right? And Eric Ten Hag getting there took him out. Like, what are you doing? Took him out. Look at him yesterday. First time I was going to be seeing Wan-Bissaka in a long time, and he played with his life.
He did.
That is how it's supposed to be. Look at Martin Dubravka. Even him knowing that I cannot replace De Gea, I can't be number one. He was playing like I want to be the number one. That is the drive Eric Ten Hag has on these boys, aka the drone manager, and it's actually beautiful.
And something that also stuck out for me was having Casemiro play
center back. My guy was fascinating. There was a couple of shaky moments, but he's Cassie now.
It showed his quality. Okay, and United are through to the quarterfinals of the EFL Cup. We wait to see which is going to be paired with come after the last game, which is Manchester City taking on Liverpool. We're going on a very short break. When we return, we do justice to that particular fixture. which we have to call the fixture of fixtures. It is of two teams with a lot of history between them. With their managers, they have a lot of some bromas going on. Also, people claim that and more we'll be talking about. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still football analysis on CTV. We've been talking about the EFL Cup and the action that has gone down yesterday. But action that will be going down today, it is the only game we have in the EFL Cup for this evening, and it is more than enough to keep us company. I can assure you that. We have Manchester City taking on Liverpool. This is a game that a lot of people will be watching. I mean, if you're not watching, what exactly are you going to be doing? For this particular fixture, Pep Guardiola facing Jurgen Klopp. They both have history. They've both gotten one over the other at one point or the other.
Yeah.
Right now, Jurgen Klopp has done quite something to Pep Guardiola's record. Has been the manager to have, to have defeated his team the most, and it's very interesting. And all of those stats there and there. Jurgen Klopp will be like, this is the man who has been the stumbling block, me winning silent titles and not winning silent titles. It's been the difference and all that stuff. What are you expecting to see this evening, considering the fact that a lot of their starters will not be available for this fixture? Talking about the fact that a lot of Manchester City's players were on international duty and I mean, they need to get some rest and all. But the guys who are available is the same way. When you're saying City B, so long as they play under Pep Guardiola, you know that it is a City side. Same as Liverpool, so long as they're playing for and under Jurgen Klopp, it is the Liverpool side. So what do you expect to see from both teams, considering the fact that the quarterfinals of the EFL Cup is at stake?
Great football as usual. Superb, superb end-to-end football from the counter pressing to the tiki-taka. Both of them play uh, football that will glue you to your TV. And yeah, I am expecting same this night, absolutely the same. Although personnel will be different. Guardiola has been complaining this past few days about his players not being available to him. Most of the people he wants to use, they're just coming back, or they're still on holidays. Same thing can be said of Jurgen Klopp and his boys. Although Jurgen Klopp has the privilege, or let me just say the advantage that not every one of them was at the World Cup. Most of them weren't there, and those ones that were there didn't really play much and had to come back early. Uh, see, the bromance these guys have has always been talked about, and the fact that everybody wants them to be a rival. Everybody wants them to be a Jose Mourinho against Arsene Wenger. Everybody wants them to be a Guardiola against Jose Mourinho. They want us, give us something feisty, fight, do this about. It is absolutely unnecessary. Football without violence. But when your team plays, when Manchester City and Liverpool play, we see it on the field of play. They don't give themselves a breathing space at all, and I expect the same thing tonight. If they were playing, even if they were playing for the Araro Mishi Cup, those guys are still going to play as if their life depended on it, and same thing is going to be happening today. Jurgen Klopp is looking like the most how do I put it, the man with more advantage this night. There is Musala, there is Musala, Van Dijk, literally almost every one of them is available to him. But he's not going to use most of them, some of them at least. Van Dijk, I don't expect Van Dijk to play. I do not expect Ibrahim Konate cannot even think of because he's not yet back. You understand? But most of his guys, the men needed are available to him, apart from injuries. So it's still going to be a balanced game because I was just about to talk about City's team, and I remember Mahrez, I remembered Ngunugan, I remember KDB.
Ellen brought
Ellen Haaland
has had a 1 month holiday
free. Yeah, and Salah had a 1 month holiday free. So yeah, it's all that should be fresh. I don't want to hear excuses. Calvin Keller is going to be in goal. Absolutely sure about that. Um,
Joe Matip as
Joe
well.
Matip as well. See, literally almost, let's just say 60% of the lineup for Liverpool of the regular starters will be available, whereas let's say 40 for Manchester City. But that 40 for Manchester City is just exactly like 60 for Liverpool, 70 for them. But there are a few options and few loopholes I'm seeing. Like Rico Lewis, the left back for Manchester City, is going to be the one to play. Uh, Fantastic footballer, don't get me wrong. He's still a very young guy, very young lad, fantastic footballer. But you're coming up against the Egyptian king. It's going to be very, very
Interesting.
interesting to see. We have Joe Matip and most likely Nathaniel Phillips. They're going to be starting on the back. Good defenders, don't get me wrong, but they are going to be facing Brotherland. So many consistent inconsistencies in this game, and it's all going to sum up to a fantastic, unprecedented, and you can't say you want to know who's going to be winning this. The pendulum might swing in either of them's way, but I don't want to be Georgian. I don't want to be biased. I would say Liverpool can take the win because they have the firepower. But firepower, no, they don't have for Guardiola. It doesn't. It's his personnel and my style of play. Just get it done, get it set like this. Everything works out well. But whichever way it is, I'm expecting to see a fantastic blockbuster of a movie. Yeah, I said movie of a game. It could be a movie.
No, I think for this kind of game, if you try consume something, perhaps water, you just might choke. Because
Um,
while you're wanting to consume, you just
yeah,
take something, a bite, and then your commentator shouts, "Go!" And you're like, So
yeah,
yeah, I don't advise it.
and the fact that I see the two of these managers wanting to use this as a spring either way to continue the season. Man City have not been the Man City. They are trying. Don't get me wrong, they are trying, but they are not top on the table, and that is where they always want to be. Same thing can be said of Liverpool. But City has had it better than Liverpool this season. We know where Liverpool is right now. So these two managers are going to be okay. Let's use this as a spring. Let's get this win. Add spring to our step. We know we are back on track. It was just like we never had a break. We are back to our normal self. So, whew, too
I
much.
mean, having to get the engine oiled and running, as it were, because
Yeah,
this is the season where you have we're going to be seeing about 3 games in about a
a
week
week.
or two. So it's
Yeah,
that is
2. You are
packed,
saying 2 weeks.
I mean, we're going to be having games Boxing Day,
Yeah.
31st for a lot of teams, on the 3rd of January. So yeah, exactly, 3 games
For the
in
next,
less than seven
yeah, for the
games. So
next 2 weeks, these guys are going to have at least 7 games.
which is very interesting.
Mhm.
Not for the clubs and the
No, not
players
for the
in question.
players. It's for the clubs. The
For the
clubs are making the
fans,
money.
we enjoy this period. We absolutely do, but it's so much for these players
And the
during this period.
physiotherapy stands are going to get filled up.
I mean,
They'll be so busy.
that's why they do them the check. And all this stuff. Okay, and it's very exciting to see the battles like you did mention. You're
Yeah.
having Mohamed Salah.
Against Rico Lewis, yeah.
We've been seeing photos and pictures of what he's going to be. He has been doing, what he has been up to. Nunez also is back
He's
in
back,
camp.
yeah.
Firmino did not go for the World Cup,
Yeah,
so
he's
it's very
there.
interesting. That Cavall as well is there. Elliot is there.
Elliott is there, yeah.
It's very exciting. Yeah, for Manchester,
Milner is there.
right? We have to mention that for Manchester City as well. You are having Edison did not feature so much for
He's going
Brazil,
to be starting.
so we should expect to see him.
Edison starts, yeah.
We're going to be having
Ruben Diaz will be playing.
Ake was in action for Netherlands, so he just went but it's
Ake
very
is going to be
Stones,
yeah.
all of those guys,
Stones is going to be playing.
doing all of that and having to come back in less than
Laporte,
how many
Laporte
days.
is going to be playing. He
So-
has left Spain for quite some time. I
So-
said he has left Qatar since they got eliminated for some time now. He's going to be playing. Laporte will play. Ake, as you mentioned.
But you know
No,
the thing about Pep Guardiola, you don't tell him what to do.
that is the thing. Look at
You
us.
cannot tell him what
Look at us
to do.
literally predicting a few of the Liverpool starters because we know okay, Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't like
Tweaking too much.
gambling, doesn't really like you are fit, come and start. But Guardiola,
We don't know what that man is going to be up to.
You can, as you are saying now, Ederson is going to be starting. We might sit and see Stefan Ortega starting. That is just how he is. So, well,
But I mean, the game just promised to not be boring. It
At
promises
all.
to give us something for enjoyment. 9 p.m. our time is going to be the start of this particular marquee fixture, and of course, Premier League returning 26th. We've talked about that. Okay, we haven't. We're going to be talking about in a minute, right? But that is it. That it is for the EFL Cup. We're going to be talking about the pairing, the matchup, the fixtures. After this game does go down, talking about the Manchester City Liverpool game, we'll know who's going to be facing who later tonight. And I'm sure a lot of these teams would like to avoid certain people, certain
Yeah,
persons. I mean,
exactly.
why you take the easy way, right? Until it is not easy
As long
anymore.
as there's an easy way, people like to take it.
Yeah,
So
but unfortunately, the easy way turns. Yes, it usually has some kind of turns
no, this time around
and
there's
crooks.
no turns and crook. The easy way, Charlton,
If you find Charlton in the final, what would you do?
final, nothing. But if it was, imagine Man City Charlton in the final, or Liverpool Charlton in the final,
I
or
don't know. I
Manchester
don't know
United
what you
Charlton in the
mean. I don't.
final.
I don't know what you
They
mean.
go shop and they go spread that shouting complete. Have you forgotten what happened to Watford? Come on.
Well, you don't like to kick your man. I don't. I don't like
I
to
don't
do it.
like
I
to
don't
kick him
kick your
out.
man when
Just
he's
in case you don't know
down.
what happened to Watford.
It's
Man City
not.
beat Watford at the final 8-0. A game the Watford fans will 8 to remember.
Well done. All
Thank
of
you.
that was the handwork of Isabella. I had no part in it. Okay, we'll be going on a very, very short break. When we
Yeah.
return, we'll do a quick rundown of the games we're going to be expecting to see this weekend. Club football is really back. Stick around. Football analysis continues. Welcome back. This is still football analysis on CTV. So now taking a very, very quick rundown of the games that will be happening come next week in the Premier League and Boxing Day action. Of course, Boxing Day is usually not boring for the Premier League. We always have action during this period, and we get to enjoy this back-to-back action. Football fans, we live for this moment, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Brentford taking on Tottenham Hotspur. This is one game that is going to be interesting,
Yeah.
considering the kind of high the Brentford did not finish. Is what does it feel like we're starting a new season?
Exactly.
We're continuing
Yeah.
from where we stopped. The kind of level, the kind of high, the kind of euphoria Brentford did finish last season.
Again.
I did it again. The break.
Yeah, the break
Before the World Cup with taking on Manchester City, and it was quite the win for them. 2 goals for Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
Very exciting thing, you know. And now they
Yeah.
take on Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham have not had the kind of start that.
They have not been hot.
Okay, there is that.
They've just been pouring.
Okay, so now Brentford taking on Tottenham. Of course,
Yeah.
we have to factor in that break. It just might have changed something, perhaps, for Antonio Conte and his boys.
Yeah.
But now Thomas Frank and his boys too would like to continue from where they stopped.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So what do you expect to see from both sides?
Good game. Great game. Antonio Conte would want to win, but he's not at the house. Thomas Frankie is. Even after the whole incidents regarding Ivan Anthony and the charges he has against the FA, he's still eligible to continue to play until when called upon. So my man could bang in an hat trick today. How many of their players was on international duty for the World Cup? Literally, like
A few,
very
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 few.
few. And if the few self will be squad players, but look at the Tottenham side. He left early though, but Yumison was there.
Harry Kane as
Harry Kane was
well.
there. I'm sure. Okay, Harry Kane will have to play. I'm pretty sure we don't want to risk him. Harry Kane will have to play. So, any, I want to see Tottenham, but they are facing Brentford, and Brentford finished. You see, Brentford finished the first quarter of the season on quite some good run of form, and it was nice to see. They defeated one of the strongest team in the Premier League, and now they're facing another one. So the honest truth about it is we will just have to do our own analysis about this return. None of them will be able to as in consistently and comfortably say, "Oh, this one will win it." No, this one is not going to win it because we have had I don't know, 29 days break or 30 something days break from football. So club football. So it's hard to predict, but I see goals though. See goals. Ivan Antonio get a goal and probably do this again.
Okay, let's see what's going to be happening there. Monday, it is 1:30.
Yeah,
Our time is going to be the kickoff. Southampton taking on Brighton, 4 p.m. But the 4 p.m. hour, we have quite the games. A couple of games will be going down that day. Southampton taking on Brighton. Southampton have, like, they need to start getting the points. They
yeah,
need to start getting the wins. They need for something to give, for something to change.
yeah,
Otherwise, relegation beckons. For Brighton, they've had a very good half of the season.
yeah.
They've settled in quite well under the new manager. They've
Roberto.
gotten quite the games, quite the results. They faced off with the big boys, and they
And
came off out. They came out quite good. Faced off against
they came out
Chelsea.
unfazed.
You know,
It's me.
took on Chelsea, and what a win for them. Took on Liverpool. It was a point that
They felt
they
like
could have, yeah,
yeah,
that
they
could
felt
have
like a
felt like a
win.
defeat. You know,
Yeah,
they should, or they could have won that game with how
true.
good they were. They've been so good all season long. There's a reason why they are in that, top 10 conversation,
Yeah,
and it's looking like European football might be possible for them.
yeah.
But now, this is what is the news on the streets, or as we usually say it.
Mm.
When you're facing a side that is desperate for survival,
Mm-hmm.
it gets a bit tricky. Do you think Southampton will cause Brighton some problems?
They should attempt to do so. Um, with what they played over this weekend, this midweek, more like in the AFL Cup, how quietly impressive they were. Although I was saying that I don't really see
They
the
could have done
drive.
better.
Yeah. So, but Brighton, they outplayed Gillingham. They were unlucky. They
Charlton, actually.
Brighton, I beg your pardon, outplayed Charlton because they were unlucky, and with what we saw them play, them bringing into the Premier League and playing that kind of same style of football against Southampton, who has been absolutely lackluster, is it's not going to be easy for Southampton. But we know that, as you said, the fight for survival is a different kind of beast mode. You don't want to go down. You don't want to be part of the people that they would time relegated boys. So the drive and the hunger the these guys would have should be enough to get the points or all three against Brighton. But Roberto De Zerbi and his boys would not want to lose on a back to back, and the their position in the table right now is where it's going to be very sweeting them, and for them to want to draw points is to be hard for them. So Stadium of Lights will be booming. Honestly speaking, Stadium of Lights for Sunderland.
Yeah. Just, I think we wanted to put the stadium, but I don't think Southampton will like that. Neither will
Yeah.
Sunderland as well. So Leicester City taking on Newcastle, and both managers, they've been doing quite well. Would you think he's taking this one, Leicester City, Newcastle?
Oh
Or should we share the spoils?
man, Odi.
Okay, fair enough. But what he promises is goals. Most
Plenty
definitely.
goals.
He promises to see
Inside me, I want Rogers to win. Inside me, he's my guy. I like Rogers. Yeah.
a day out for the
Uh,
money.
I like Eddie out too now, but Rogers might beat him anyhow. So let's go.
Bars. Crystal Palace taking on Fulham. Fulham have come into the league and they seem to have settled quite well. Crystal Palace,
Edward, Zaha, Ulisse, and Iberichi Eze, they know how to do it. They know how to get all the whole game. But oh, Fulham, Alexandra Mitrovic, Kebano. See, uh, I'll go for Patrick Vieira as Crystal Palace to win, but I will not be surprised if Fulham, force and sign in that guy.
okay, let's see who's going to be doing what. We're going on a very short break. When we return, football analysis continues. Stick around, we'll be right back. Sunday in the Premier League. And for Leicester City taking on Newcastle, well, we've done that. It's taking what for? It promises to give us goals, and let's see which manager will get the better of the other. Crystal Palace taking on Fulham. Promises to be quite interesting as well.
Yeah.
Let's see who's going to be doing what against whom. That game, it promises to be quite cagey. It promises to also give us goals.
Yeah, like I just said, I expect my boys up top to win.
By your boys, you mean who?
The quartet now, Usman Edward, Wilfred Zaha, Eberichizi, and Michael Olise. Fantastic footballers, minus Jordan Ayew. I don't know what he's still doing there though.
Well, they still want it.
I know.
Everton taking on Wolves. It is another relegation bout.
Yeah.
Who is going where? Championship or Premier League, you're saying there. That game promises to give us something.
Plenty.
For both teams, they need to survive.
Yeah,
they would
do.
want to survive. Everton, in this case, they had this kind of time last time out, and they survived by the skin of their teeth last season.
I remember.
Now they are in the same waters, and do you think safety
and they're
will be
actually
possible?
playing well. That's the difference. Unlike last season, they were what's this? But right now they're trying to play well. No, no, say they're playing well. They're trying to play well. You have seen what Alex has been doing for them. I'm talking about Iwobinho. What he has been doing for them. Antonio Gordon. They have the main man back this year. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. These guys are the go-to people for Frank Lampard, and I hope to God he can change his old, like, should I call it destiny, because he looks like the man that will be fighting relegation all the time. Minus what he did with Derby, right? But Derby was just for a short period. It was not even for a whole season. And now Chelsea was.
I mean, he was in the Champions League.
Now you can't enter Champions League.
Even though they did not crash out while he was the boss.
Because they didn't crash out while he was the boss. They didn't allow him to crash out in it. They had to pursue him before they crashed out. Before they go and spoil everything out. Please and please and please. Let's just be realistic right now. Yeah. Frank Lampard is a super fantastic player. Him as a manager, I am not still overly convinced as a manager. He's had his time in the sun regarding management and how his boys have been playing out. But honestly, I still have my reservations regarding him as a manager. So yeah. On the other hand, Lopetegui would want this is his first Premier League game. His first Premier League game. You do not expect Lopetegui to want to just lose it like that. This man will want to do something. Would definitely want to do something fantastic today and come on Monday. So great game I'm going to be having. Absolutely great game, but it looks like a draw.
Okay, let's see who's going to be getting the points, or if we're going to be sharing the spoils. Everton taking on Wolves. It promises to be quite the game. 4 p.m. Every team in the Premier League, they will all be in action. So it promises to be the proper buffet of games. Aston Villa taking on Liverpool. This is a game that also has its own history. Liverpool have a former player in Aston Villa, a very important player that used to be for Liverpool. Aston Villa have also had a former Liverpool, or not a current Liverpool legend. He's no longer their manager, but it has been quite the time right there. So having both teams face off, Liverpool would like to forget their start to the Premier League season. They didn't start the way they wanted to. At least I don't think that's how they wanted to start. For Aston Villa, though, I mean, all is still well in paradise. I mean, they're not in the relegation battle. I don't think they're vying to go for Champions League or Europa League football. But hey, I mean, everybody likes to be ambitious and all that stuff. So even if they would like to go to Europe, it's time to start now or not. Yeah. So Villa taking on Liverpool. Liverpool's first game back, in the Premier League. Seeing out that they actually started, it's not the way they want to continue. Or, Mr. Liverpool, would you like to continue?
What is Mr. Liverpool?
I thought you had clubs here.
I actually do, but I don't really like to brag. But me and Jürgen talked this morning. There were a few words we exchanged because we had diverse opinions regarding how that match should be carried out and all. But he's the boss, so I have to give him his credit. Boss, do the needful. But just let me just say this. One and only reason I'm skeptical about this game is the fact that Unai Emery is the man in charge of Aston Villa. It is not an easy feat to defeat Unai Emery at his
I did
backyard.
pronounce his name like that.
Unai Emery. I'm just sorry. It's not actually very easy to defeat Unai Emery at his backyard. The man is a legend when it comes to tweaking formations. We know him to be the man that uses like 8 formations in one game. Jurgen Klopp has said it multiple times. If you want to play against Unai Emery, prepare yourself to play with at least 3 different formations, both in game and mid game. Is ready for you. Like you said, the problems Liverpool faced at the beginning of the season was highlighted with the Maya. He's alive, thank God. With the departure of Sadio Mane and the arrival of some players and some of them getting
Falling out
injured,
of form.
Everything felt different. Everything felt like um like 5 6 years ago when Liverpool were just trying to get themselves together. It was looking like that this season. You see them lead 1-0 up to the 80 something minutes, and then boom, they get paid back. Or
They even concede very early
they
goals,
have been conceding very early goals almost every game this season. Albeit for some few, and those few that they don't concede early, that's where they do well. Really pardon. I see Jurgen Klopp wanting that trend to end by all means possible. He's not a manager that'll be like, oh yeah, you've had your fair share of international break, you've rested every one of you, and let's go, just gonna play, let me see how you're gonna. No, if you do not bring 150%, bro, go sit. Same thing can be said of Aston Villa's with Emery, beg your pardon. That man is like that. He's very pristine with what he wants. If you do not do hits like this, good evening, outside. He is exactly like that. So I see a very fantastic game, if you ask me. Felipe Coutinho, who we talked about, rumors are that he's had a falling out with the manager. We are yet to see official anything about it. So it is still under probability. But what I see is the fact that Emery is not someone that's going to sit back and say, I'm playing against Liverpool. Let us be reserved. Let us see what they want to do. Let us see what they do. Well, it's going to be a game on the half, honestly speaking.
Okay, let's see how that particular fixture will be going. Arsenal, the Gunners have topped the EPL all season long. It has been quite the season for them. But hey, there has been a break in transmission, talking about the World Cup and all. But now we're returning back to action. West Ham is that team that they enjoy being your banana peel. They enjoy causing you so much trouble. They haven't started like a house on fire all season long. But towards the end of the season, we saw them pick up form. We saw their gameplay get better.
End of the season.
End of the first half of the season. I really feel like we're playing out a new season right there. We saw their gameplay get better, in quotes.
But not the results.
But not the results.
The only result that was getting better was one in Europe, where
they were amazing.
Not a point.
But they've been unable to translate that success back home. Do you see them getting the point of Arsenal? Seeing how Arsenal have been so good, you know?
And the Emirates.
Yes.
It's not far. It's a very tough ask for David Moyes and his boys. But it is David Moyes. It is those tough asks he likes.
He lives for it.
Yeah, the ones you be like, this one they will beat him black and blue. That's when you beat you 4-1, 4-3, 4-2, all those kind of games. You understand what I'm trying to say? And Arsenal on their own, what Arteta has been doing with those boys, oh come on. I was on Team Arteta. The first time I saw the news that he was going to be appointed as the new Arsenal manager, I was Team Arteta. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I was Team Arteta. I was like, oh good. Arsenal are wise enough to know that this man is going to be very good for the job. Only if they can give him the benefit of the doubt and leave him be to do what he wants to do. First season I was these guys they might just be scared and fire him up. But here we are today. This man has won FA Cup, Community Shield. People don't count it as a trophy, but it's still a trophy. You lift something after beating someone and you get medal. You still lift something.
People say it's for charity.
Leave the people. You get trophy. I'm gonna get trophy.
Shoot.
Give. Thank you. The FA Cup, the Community Shield, top of the Premier League table after playing superb football, defeated Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham. Look at the draw, the match against Manchester United. That was the only one where they failed to get a win. Not for lack of trying. They were superb in that game. But Manchester United showed them who has the Agbada pass, and they defeated them. But that all those can change with the 30 plus day break we had for the World Cup, and the forms their players have had the first quarter of the game, the season might not translate to what is happening right now. And Gabriel Jesus out till next year. Um, Gabriel Martinelli went to the World Cup. His form might get problems. Bukayo Saka, same thing. Ramsdale didn't do anything at the World Cup. He's back. Takehiro Tomiyasu went with Japan. Most of these guys went to the World Cup, right? They are coming back and affect their mojo and all kind of things. But it is still the same thing. Same thing can be said of West Ham and Declan Rice, David Moyes' boys. So it looks balanced and it looks a bit tilted towards Arteta and his boys, given the fact that they have been better side this season and they are on top of the table and they are at the house one more time. But the break will do a whole lot of things that we don't know yet, or we don't know about yet. So I'm expecting something fantastic.
Okay, and Chelsea taking on Bournemouth. Have Graham Potter. His side has been struggling, to say the very least. This is not where Chelsea are known to play. This is not where they're known to be.
Yeah.
And some not so. Something that is very interesting right now, an interesting start for Chelsea fans. Chelsea have scored 17 goals all season, and they've conceded 17 as well. So no goals in the bag, which is unusual.
Wait, Chelsea have scored 17 goals this season,
And
conceded
they've
17 in
so.
15 games. No, 14 because
Yeah, they have a game in hand right there. So it's unusual for them. It's not where they're used to being, and it's just something has got to give. They take on Bournemouth, and Bournemouth have come into the league, gotten the results where possible, gotten trounced and thrashed in some areas, but before the break they were on the ascendancy, so they were trying to change their fortunes and change what it is that has been happening with them. For Chelsea now, something has got to change. This is the second half of the season. We're not going to be having the benefit of a World Cup break anymore. Whatever break it is that we are having is going to be for international football, and it's 2 weeks and it's back a week. Yeah, and we're back. So do you see Chelsea defeating Bournemouth, or do you think Bournemouth just might prove too tough for them to handle?
Bournemouth will try their best. Philip Billing has been a fantastic form. Dominic Solanke, they are going to try. Let me call him Dominic Solanke. They are going to try their best. Honestly speaking, they will do their bit, but I don't see them coming to the Stamford Bridge and open Chelsea. It's a tough ask. It's a big assignment for them to do. It's not as if they can't get pass mark on it. They can actually go there and get an excellent. But that's why it's football. But when it comes to what Chelsea has been doing under Graham Potter, they have not overly impressed, but they have a standard. They are trying to state how to put it. They have a balance. They have a balance that okay, we are not getting all these goals we need, but we are not going to be letting too many in. And Bournemouth's attack is not overly frightening. It's just there. But what Chelsea have in their attack and are not utilizing it is what is my own problem. You have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, you have Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling, and you guys have 17 goals. Your highest goal scorer this season is Raheem Sterling with how many goals? 7.
Yeah, and that's 3 just in the Premier League.
3 in the Premier League. How? Last season, Mason Mount was the highest goal scorer in the Premier League. How many goals? 8. That is something they could have improved on over this summer. But they were looking for big part strikers, someone that would just come and shock. They went to get Aubameyang. Sammy Abraham was there. No buyback clause. We let the boy leave. Now he's blossoming at AS Roma. Amen Turboria.
He's out injured, unfortunately.
But this guy has an ACL. He's out for the whole of the season. And now Chelsea are saying they are going to go into the market this January to try and get a transfer. We know they are signing Christopher Nkunku, but it is not coming by January. Even if he wants to come by January,
He's out
he's
injured.
injured as well. So they have to wait to July to get Christopher Nkunku. Who do they fall back on? Pierre Emerick Aubameyang, Kai Havertz, and Raheem Sterling. I'm calling him like that because he has absolutely failed to live up to the billing of what he wants to go do at Chelsea. Leave the fact that his eyes was crowded. I mean, how many goals? How many? Rodrigo Moreno has more goals than him. Times 3 of what he has in the Premier League, Rodrigo Moreno has. And Rodrigo Moreno plays for a team that creates lesser chance than what Chelsea are creating for him. So I am not impressed with Chelsea that in no way, but they will still win, Sha. It is what it is.
Chelsea are winless in the last 5 Premier League games, and they've had very unprecedented back-to-back losses, which is something that I think Bournemouth just might want to capitalize on.
Yeah.
But from Graham Potter's point of view, I don't think he's going to let his boys do that to him. All right, so away from that one, we also have other games. For this Chelsea game, it is going to be on the 27th. Right. So we have some very interesting game in Manchester United taking on Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have shown some grit. They took on Liverpool and they were the better side. They actually recorded their first win all season.
Well, every other aspect of that game, they're not the better side.
They won 1-0, 3 points in the bag. Nottingham Forest have. Now they take on Eric Ten Hag's side. Do you think they just might be able to, do it on a double? You beat Liverpool, you beat Manchester United, or do you think United will thrash and trounce Steve Cooper's side?
They did. I can't say it's unthinkable. It's football. It's not unthinkable. They did very very well, beating Liverpool, stopping them from scoring not a single goal. Stopped them in the tracks. Were very very compact and they played as a team. Took out every threat Liverpool had and took home 3 points. Great. That happening at Old Trafford. It's not a far-fetched dream. It's a far-fetched nightmare. It's never happening. They happen. We have these boys back. Did you see what Manchester United played yesterday?
They were good.
And they faced a very very good team in Burnley. Burnley are a very good team. Don't get me wrong. They faced a very good team in Burnley. And doing that, look at the amount of chances Manchester United created yesterday. Now imagine those amount of chances they created yesterday. They were creating it against Nottingham Forest, who are still they are trying to be balanced, but not overly balanced. And this time around, the rest of the players are going to be back fully fit and starting. Casemiro will not have to start at the back anymore. He will be at his midfield. Anthony would have to start. Won't be on the bench anymore. Marcus Rashford is Marcus Rashford. Bruno Fernandes is there. Christian Eriksen is there. Anthony Martial is there. That boy. They just called his name. Diogo Dalot is there. See.
He's out injured though.
Wan Bissaka is there.
Okay, there is that.
Yeah. So they'll do something fantastic honestly speaking. Manchester United they will beat them. I'm not a Man fan. I don't really like them. I don't rate them. But one thing I will shop on. Although I want Nottingham to climb up the table as I've been saying. It's not happening this weekend.
Okay, away from that, we have Leeds United taking on Manchester City, and that's going to be it for the first round of Premier League fixtures after the break. Leeds, they know how to be the banana peel side for the big boys. They are going to frustrate you. They are going to torment you. Liverpool can't testify. So, Leeds United taking on Manchester City. Do you expect them to, try to get something out of Pep Guardiola's side?
Definitely.
And for Pep Guardiola with his quality, but seeing how they lost out in the last game before the break to Brentford, do you think it's something that will be giving Leeds United some kind of confidence that if Brentford did it, we can also do it?
Yeah, it's a match would have added this 100%, and also the more like their win over Liverpool. We probably major call the team stuff like you did it, you can redo it again. There's nothing. See, the main threat Manchester City are going to be facing at Elland Road is counter attacks. They are going to be open to so many counter attacks, and these guys are very good at it. Is it Rodrigo Moreno? Is it Brennan? Aronson? Is it Tyler Adams? They will tear you apart with passes that come on, take out 4-5 players, but. Manchester City, they are the
They are the king of controllers. They will control the game. They will bring the tempo. How they want to play is how you two are going to play, if you like it or not. And as we have said, that the robot has been rebooting for a whole 30 plus days and is as hungry as ever. The man wants to get to 20 goals in that game. He has 18 goals already. He wants to get to 20 goals in that singular game. I don't rule it out against him, but ah, Leeds, I love you guys, but if you guys lead, then you go hard, bro. City could beat them.
Okay. Leeds United. Leeds United. The City, and that's going to be on the 28th at 9 p.m. right there. And it promises to be quite the game. Cannot wait to see who's going to be the victor or who's going to be the vanquished in this particular one. And that's about it. And we get to draw the curtains on. Before we do that, though, there is West Ham taking on Brentford. But hey, all of that and more. So join us for the next edition of Football Analysis. We'll talk about all of this on the next edition of the show, and we analyze and dissect each of those teams strength by strength as well as their weaknesses. From on that note, from me and his Baba, it's time for us to say adios. It's time for us to say our Betty buys. So please do well to take care of yourself. Enjoy the holidays. It is the least you can do, and please be responsible. Okay, stick around right here with us on CTV. We love you, and we're leaving you just for a little bit. Bye for now.